Family, it's Friday, and there is a huge show today because there is a breaking announcement in sports. Dak Prescott, he has officially been named a second-team All-Pro. Got an All-Pro at this desk, and we all know that's hard to do. Here is the All-Pro teams. This means you are the best of the best of the best of the best in all of football. Lamar Jackson, he was first team. Dak Prescott, he was second team. Y'all can see the rest of this list. You were talking about guys like CeeDee Lamb, guys like Tyreek Hill. This name here, I believe Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's up there. Guys like George Kittle, and Dak Prescott found himself amongst the best of the best in all of the National Football League. Now, I got somebody who was the best of the best of the best of the best in all of the National Football League, and this individual, LeSean Shady McCoy, you've been very critical, honest about Dak Prescott. The whole world is waiting for the answer to this question I'm going to ask you. Shady, is it officially time? Second team All-Pro. It's hard to do.
It is hard to do.
Is it officially time for you to give Dak Prescott more respect? The floor is yours.
No, for sure. I think he's earned it this year to give him more respect. Now, I think one thing about playing at an elite level is hard to do, for sure, and he's done that this year. But it's even harder to stay at that elite level, right? I mean, second team.
Why are you saying it like that?
No, I'm just saying.
I was wondering, why are you saying it like that?
Second team is one behind somebody, right? And I think that's
still hard to do.
Hard to do.
No, it is hard to do. No, and I said that it's hard to do, and that's why I'm giving him a little bit more credit. It's eighth year.
Eighth year in the league.
Eighth year, and he's made an All-Pro in his eighth year. He had some time. And it finally came together. So I give him credit for that. I think Dak is playing at elite level right now. But I mean, we got to see it more often.
Sure, but
to really put him at elite level. That's all I'm saying.
Today, when Dak Prescott is proven to be better than every quarterback in football this year, except for one, Lamar Jackson.
And that's why.
How impressive!
It is impressive. That's why I said that I will give him more credit, right? But to get that full credit, the way we look at Josh Allen, the way we look at Lamar Jackson, because we don't look at Dak Prescott, even with this All-Pro. You don't look at him in the same breath as them guys do.
Yeah, he got to make a run in the playoffs.
Make a run.
You see what I'm saying? So it has to be some extra for us to give him that super credit that you want to give him.
Yeah. Now, what about people who are going to say, well, Shay, you moving goalposts? Because everybody been waiting for you to give Dak Prescott, who you recently said was...
I just gave him love. I just said that he's having a solid elite year, and I give him more credit.
Okay.
But to give him that full, I can't look at him like I look at Josh Allen. Now, since you guys want to bring it up and all that, you can't wait to ask me. I see you in your chest. Can't wait to ask me that question. Cool. Where do you think Josh Allen should be at? Because you do have an All-Pro vote, right?
Yes, sir.
So if Lamar Jackson is going to be the MVP, so he has to be first-team All-Pro. That's how that works. And then Dak Prescott had a great year, right? So he got... What about Josh Allen?
Josh has never got an All-Pro, I believe, right?
I believe, no, he has a second. He has a second.
He got one.
All-Pro.
So I'm going to ask you, Mr. Voter, because you can't wait to ask me.
Yeah, of course.
You see that? When an instigator gets put on the spot, it's a new thing. Right? He can't wait to ask me that question, Joey. So we're going to ask you.
Instigator.
Does Josh Allen deserve to be an All-Pro?
No, sir, not this year, sir. Not at all, sir. Not because Lamar Jackson obviously should be a first-team All-Pro. Dak Prescott had a better year than Josh Allen. Josh Allen had more total touchdowns, but he obviously had a lot more turnovers. Dak Prescott's team is a 2-seed like Josh Allen's team is a 2-seed, but Dak Prescott, he wasn't sitting there having to win the last 6 consecutive games to get it done. He put himself ahead of everybody else going into the final stretch. He had to beat the Eagles. He beat the Eagles, and ultimately, I don't think there's even a conversation.
So real quick, before I get done with this conversation. So,
sir,
as an All-Pro voter,
yes, sir,
right? I'm trying to figure this out. So, what do you vote on a quarterback? Is it the stats? Does that matter at all?
Stats and eye test. Stats and eye test. Okay. When I looked at both.
And what about does the team success matter at all? Too?
Of course.
Okay.
Yes.
So, would you say that Lamar Jackson having a better year than Josh Allen?
Yeah. I would say Lamar's having a better year than Josh Allen. James Jones, let me come to you on the far end of this one, big dog.
You're not going to say why?
I mean, Lamar's having a better year than Josh Allen because his team has been much better, but individually, Lamar Jackson has been less of a detriment to the Baltimore Ravens than Josh Allen has been a detriment to the Buffalo Bills. Lamar Jackson has never hurt the Baltimore Ravens. Josh Allen, you can start with week 1. You can continue throughout the course of the season. Josh Allen has hurt the Buffalo Bills, though he has saved them as well. James Jones, you love you some Dak Prescott, rightfully so.
Sir.
Rightfully so. Shady, does he officially... It's time to get more respect?
Yes, it is time for Shady to put some more respect on Dak Prescott's name, but it's not time for the world to put some more respect on Dak Prescott's name just yet because Dak Prescott has to make a run in this playoffs, right? Because this All-Pro is cool, right? Hard to do. I never did it, right? Never smelt it, right? Shady has first-team All-Pro. That's why he said second. Like,
no.
You know, we know Shady now over here on his desk, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, if you are voted the second best quarterback in the National Football League, that's an honor. right? I mean, I don't care who the first one is in front of you. That's an honor to be the number 2. So Shady has been really, really critical on Dak Prescott, really tough on Dak Prescott. And Dak Prescott has earned some of that, and I believe Dak Prescott has not earned some of that. But he's been critical on him. So I think Shady does need to put a little bit more respect on Dak Prescott's name. But as for us, being up here and the fans and the world watching, this is time now, Dak. All-pro. You playing at an all-pro level. They just put a stamp on that. And now you got 2 home games if you handle this first one at home and you playing really at an MVP level. Like, this is the time for you to go put your stamp on, I'm that type of elite quarterback in the National Football League that could take my team to these type games. And when we get to these type games, I'm that type of quarterback that can deliver in these type games. Not my defense playing well, not none of that other stuff, coach well, running the ball well. We win because of me and the way I played. And he has an opportunity on, what is it, Saturday or Sunday? Sunday to let the world know that. On Fox. On Fox to let the world know that I'm all pro for a reason, and I'm about to make a run in these playoffs.
Joy, break it down.
Who you picking in the game?
You see.
You don't think Shady should put that much respect on it?
You should put respect on it. But I've been loyal. I've been loyal to the soil all year long. I hear you.
I think he just did. I think he did. And look, this is great for Dak. I love it for him. He deserves it. He's had an incredible year, the best year of his career. And it's a huge thing to be able to say. We said it about Jalen Hurts last year and most of this year until things fell apart. He was all-pro last year. It's hard to do. It's hard to be the second best quarterback in football when you have guys like Josh Allen available, when you have guys like Brock Purdy have the season that he had. So I think it's a huge thing to say. I think it's a good starting point for a legacy run for Dak Prescott if he has that. If he goes on this run in the postseason, like many people expect him to do, on top of being named All-Pro, what James just said really matters. You're winning because of Dak Prescott, despite all the other All-Pros and all the Pro Bowls that the rest of his roster has, because this is a really, really good roster, and he's playing alongside some great players. For you to also be All-Pro validates that you are contributing at the highest level. You're not just relying on Zeke, which was the story at the beginning of his career. You're not just relying on CeeDee Lamb, which was the story last year. This year, we're seeing Dak play a different version of football. So I do think this is an incredible honor. He should feel great about it. And on top of everything that he's done this year, I also think it's impressive for him to do that coming off of the year he had last year, which, if you zoom out, wasn't a bad year. He just really struggled with turnovers. He got a lot of criticism for it. They definitely lost games because of it. And then you had the turnover from Kellen Moore to Mike McCarthy. So I think this is a great point of validation for Mike McCarthy, for him to step in. He had a lot of questions about what that was going to look like. Dak has had the best year of his career, got named All-Pro. They have a home game where they've won 15 in a row. I think it's a brilliant position for the Cowboys to be in.
You mentioned Mike McCarthy. James, I think there's a lot of pressure on Mike McCarthy, your former head coach. Shady, I think there's a lot of pressure on Mike McCarthy. I don't think Mike McCarthy can afford to lose this game. I don't want to say that his job is on the line, but I would be ignorant if I didn't at least mention the fact that Cowboys McCarthy ain't safe if you lose this game. Can't be safe. There's not a world in which Mike McCarthy can lose to the Green Bay Packers, the same Packers team that beat the Cowboys in the 2014 playoffs, the same Packers that beat the Cowboys in the 2016 playoffs, at the hand of Mike McCarthy. If Mike McCarthy loses, there's absolutely a chance that he could and will be gone. Yesterday, Shady and I spent this whole show saying, you got to go younger. You got to go younger. You got to go younger. The Packers replaced Mike McCarthy with somebody younger. LaFleur, somebody from that McVay-Shanahan tree, somebody who is in the next generation of coaches. If LaFleur replaces McCarthy, beats McCarthy, LaFleur, who replaced McCarthy, had more success than McCarthy in Green Bay during McCarthy's last tenure there. Obviously, McCarthy won a Super Bowl. Not taking that away from him at all whatsoever, not doing that. But if you let LaFleur beat you with Jordan Love, oh, your job on the line. Your job is in jeopardy. But, James, you played for McCarthy. You know him well. Is his job on the line in the playoffs?
I mean, you make a lot of sense. You do. Because, I think the main thing is winning championships. But when you look at what Coach Mike has done since he's been with the Dallas Cowboys, 2 division titles, 12 wins, 12 wins, 12 wins, right? To the playoffs, won a playoff game last year. Like, Mike came in there and really turned that whole thing around. Got your best player, and y'all argue with me, but got your best player playing at an all-pro level, the player that everybody said was holding the Dallas Cowboys back. Now, all of a sudden, he's an all-pro player. This is Coach Mike, all right? Joy touched on it. When Coach Mike took over, everybody was like, what is the Dallas Cowboys doing? Kellen Moore is one of the best offensive coordinators in the business. Mike had a plan on how he wanted Dak Prescott to play the game. Mike is a heck of a football coach, and to think that you to win a division and win this many games consistently and lose in the playoffs and your job be fired, I don't know what Jerry Jones wants. I know you want championships, but this is how you build on that, right? So, if Coach Mike loses, I still think it's crazy to think that his job will be on the line, but I would not be surprised.
Well said. Well way to end it. Jordan, what do you think? McCarthy, can he go one and done in his job on the line this weekend?
I mean, I hope so. I don't hope they go one and done, but I hope that he would be able to keep his job. Now, it's the Cowboys, so anything's on the table, but Jerry don't really go through coaches like that. I mean, Jason Garrett was there for 9.5 seasons. He had 2 seasons with 12-plus wins. In 4 seasons, McCarthy has 3 straight seasons with 12-plus wins. He has a way better regular season winning percentage than him. Already has 2 NFC East titles in 9.5 seasons. Jason Garrett had 3. And he has a playoff win. He has Dak Prescott as an all-pro this year, and they've got 2 home games. What more do you want? Now, if they go out and it's some huge coaching blunder, some situational football thing that you can absolutely point to the coaches, maybe, but I'm not a fan of cycling through personnel at the coaching position, especially if you are doing a consistently good job. If you're losing coordinators and able to make your best player in that side of the ball better, I don't know what you're asking for. I understand the Cowboys have Super Bowl aspirations. They do every single year. But you have to handle business during the regular season as well. So to blow everything up, especially after the season that Dak Prescott just had, would seem crazy to me.
I don't think it's possible. You're not going to fire Mike.
You think zero chance?
Zero chance. I mean, like you just talked about, I was about to say the same thing with Garrett. Like, I was there around that time. He wasn't doing nothing special. They kept him around, I guess because he played there. I don't know. I look at Mike McCarthy. He's a way better coach than Garrett, right? And I think the things he's done. So, for example, when you decided to move on from your old coordinator that went to the Chargers, Kellen Moore, right? And you say, you know what, I'm going to take over the offensive responsibilities. That put like a whole red flag on. Okay, well, what you going to do?
Right.
And then he showed up. I've never seen Dak Prescott look so good, look so confident, knows where he wants to go with the ball, and a lot of that gives a lot of credit to Mike McCarthy. If you just watch what he did with Dak Prescott, if you watch the beginning of the year, it was so conservative. We're going to run this ball. We're not going to throw the ball deep. Let's keep it safe. My quarterback last year threw a lot of picks, like picks on picks on picks. Let's take our time. And that's what he did. And each week, you see the playbook getting bigger and bigger and bigger, right? Brandon Cooks comes along. They didn't use him at all early in this season. Now you see him taking shots deep, getting involved in the offense. CeeDee Lamb. I always thought CeeDee was a dope wide receiver. People hate on CeeDee, but I always liked CeeDee Lamb. You watch him now, he's everywhere, outside, inside, in the backfield, motion out. So a lot of that has to give a lot of credit to Mike McCarthy. And when you look at him as an overall coach, he's the head coach, but also I think a big part of that team is the offense. And the things he's done with Dak Prescott, your future and franchise quarterback.
Let me push back, though, because what do you want Mike McCarthy to do is not just be better than Jason Garrett. You want Mike McCarthy to be one of the best coaches in football.
I agree.
That's what you want Mike McCarthy to do. Being better than Jason Garrett is cool, but you want the best. Furthermore, Mike McCarthy, if he goes one and done, he's still yet to do anything Jason Garrett hasn't done. Tony Romo made a second-team All-Pro one time. Mike McCarthy been the coach of the Cowboys for 4 years. Dak Prescott's made a second-team All-Pro one time. Jason Garrett had a 12-win season. Mike McCarthy had a 12-win season. Jason Garrett was first in the division. Mike McCarthy's still yet to be first in the division. So, mind you, Mike McCarthy's only been here for 4 years, but we all know 4 years in the NFL, it is a fairly long time in football. So with all that being said, James, coming back to you, it's like Jerry Jones said, we'll see how each game goes in the playoffs, close quote. It's what Jerry Jones said about 4 days ago regarding Mike McCarthy. If you go one and done, what's the reason to keep Mike? Like, if you go one and done, what is Mike doing for you that Jason Garrett wasn't doing for you? Getting you a 2 seed instead of a 3 seed? Getting you a 2 seed instead of a 5 seed? You hired Mike to beat the Packers. You hired Mike to do more than just get you to the playoffs. Speak on that.
Well, first off, like Shady said, Coach Mike is a way better coach than Jason Garrett, right?
Absolutely.
If you look at what Coach Mike has done since he has come to the Dallas Cowboys, right? I'm talking about from players, I'm talking about from coaches around him. Coach Mike has changed the culture in Dallas. When you look at the players on the football field, yes, CeeDee Lamb was dominant. He wasn't like this.
No, not at all.
Yes, Dak Prescott was above average quarterback, like y'all said. He wasn't playing like this. Like Mike McCarthy came in there and he said, this is what we need. He's drafted a bunch of really good players since he's been there. He's getting the best out of these players since he's been there. And a lot of this is turning into wins, right? You can't even knock or sugarcoat 12 wins, 12 wins, 12 wins. That's big time. Right? It ain't too many coaches that comes in and changes around a program and just wins like that. Coach Mike has done that. So when I talk about a coach, and if he does go one and done, who are you going to get that's going to do a better job than Mike? I think that's the question that, as an owner, you got to ask yourself, like, okay, yeah, Mike went to the playoffs. Mike did all these great things in 4 years. Who am I bringing in here that's just going to come in here in 2 years and get us to the Super Bowl?
I guess my question would then be, if LaFleur beats Mike McCarthy, that thought goes into Jerry Jones' head. Like, a young guy. Mike McCarthy's the third oldest head coach in football now. If LaFleur beats Mike McCarthy, then that thought instantly goes into, who you gonna get better? Oh, a young guy. Because this young guy, Matt LaFleur, just beat us in our house as a 2 seed with a significantly worse team. I guess that would be Jerry Jones' response potentially.
Okay, we're getting a little crazy with the age thing. Like Mike McCarthy is not LaFleur's age, but Mike McCarthy is cool. He's not old. He's not an old man. And the purpose of bringing in a young guy is to do what? Like, be
Innovative
good
offensively.
How much more innovative do you want to be than second-team All-Pro, first-team All-Pro, wide receiver, and everybody else that's All-Pro all over the team? How much more innovative do you want to be? LaFleur's quarterback ain't first-team, second-team All-Pro, 15, 16, 17. Which team is Jordan Love on All-Pro? Which how far down did we go? Like, no diss to Jordan Love and LaFleur, but, like, the Dallas Cowboys are operating on a different level than the Green Bay Packers, despite the fact that LaFleur is younger. What you would bring in a younger coach to do is exactly what McCarthy is doing. He is the first coach in Cowboys franchise history to have 3 straight seasons with 12-plus wins.
So doesn't that mean he needs to win this game even more? Because the whole crux of this conversation is predicated upon if he loses.
I'm not arguing for losing. I'm not, like, advocating for that. I'm just saying that the panic and the instant reaction to, well, we need a young guy. Like, a young guy to do what? To go to the Super Bowl? Do we think LaFleur's going to the Super Bowl this year?
No. But if he can beat McCarthy, then my thought then is, so he already out-coaching him.
So that means no coach is safe then.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just saying, like, what Mike has done, like 12 wins, what she just said.
3 straight seasons.
3 straight seasons. Nobody in Cowboys history has ever done that. So you winning, you came over here and did something that nobody else did. So that means Niners, that means McVay, that means all these dudes.
What about one playoff win in 4 years? Because I would think that's the more damning stat. 3 straight wins, 3 straight 12-win seasons is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. But, Shady, you know, if they lose to the Packers, that's a 1-3 playoff record. You would have lost at home to the Niners. You would have lost on the road to the Niners, and you would have lost at home to the Packers. Your 1 win would have been against Tom Brady in his last year. Can he afford it? Can he afford it? Like, if he loses, are you going to change your opinion of him?
No, I wouldn't. I mean, this is the Cowboys. Like, they haven't been great in the playoffs. They haven't. You know, and the quarterback, we talk about him, he hasn't. Mike McCarthy, even with the Packers, he hasn't, right? So it's like, what all do you want from him? When you take over the offensive coordinator job and you show out the way he showed out, that's a plus that you put in your pocket, right? I think that the way he got his team playing, that's a plus. So I just feel like the McCarthy era, the time he's there, he has a chance to get a Super Bowl. He has the talent and the players and the coaches. I just can't say if you lose this game, is it over for him?
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.